to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. We're picking up right where we left off, the moment the chains were broken and the blueprint was finally in Stevie's hands.
If you missed part one, definitely go back and listen.
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah, we talked about how Stevie fought for his 21st birthday freedom. Today, we're talking about what he did with that freedom.
Oh, what he did with that freedom.
Yeah, this is the 1972 to 1976 run, arguably the greatest streak in music history.
I would say it probably was the greatest streak in music history. We're looking at talking book, intermissions, and songs in the key of life.
And don't forget fulfilling this first finale.
Of course,
Say that real fast 3 times.
We cannot forget fulfilling this first finale. I mean, this wasn't just soul music. This was Stevie rebuilding the entire DNA of the genre. I mean, he just destroyed it.
That's right. He moved away from the Motown assembly line and became a one-man army.
More like 2 divisions and a navy.
He wasn't just a singer anymore, Max. He was the producer, the engineer, and the band.
Yeah, sailing into your port to destroy everything in sight. I mean, Mello, he did it by embracing a piece of technology that absolutely everyone thought was a toy. And we're going to dive into the TONTO years and how he changed the sound of the world right after this break.
Stick around. The revolution is just getting started.
Oh, you bet. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. We're going to take a short break, and we will be right back.
That's right. Don't go nowhere. Welcome back to Architects of Soul. Before we get into gear, if you like the content, and we hope you do,
well, sure we do.
Please give a like and subscribe.
And remember, there is a video version on our YouTube page if you feel like watching instead of just listening.
Exactly, Max. All right, let's talk about the future of soul. It's May 1971. Stevie is 21 years old. He's just let his old Motown contract expire. He's got his own money.
Plenty of money.
And he's searching for a sound that doesn't exist yet. He finds it with 2 mad scientists named Robert Margouleff and Malcolm Cecil.
That's right. These guys were the ultimate architectural firm. So Malcolm was a British jazz bassist and a former radar technician with the RAF. And Robert was a filmmaker from the Andy Warhol scene. Well, that's quite a pair, if you ask me. So together they build this monster called TONTO, the original new timbral orchestra.
And here we come to a major turning point for Stevie.
Major turning point.
Stevie Wonder is searching for a sound that doesn't exist yet, and he finds it because of a bass player named Ronnie Blanco.
And that's always the way it is. There's the unsung hero here. And his name is Ronnie Blanco. And he was the one who heard this experimental album called Zero Time by these 2 crazy mad scientists that we talk about, Robert Margouleff and Malcolm Cecil. So Ronnie knew Stevie was frustrated with the standard studio sound. And when Ronnie heard this record, he was like, oh, Stevie's got to listen to this. So he played it for him. And Stevie was blown away. And Ronnie said, Stevie, you got to meet these guys.
So the story goes that Ronnie Blanco actually goes and takes him there.
Can you imagine that?
Okay. Malcolm Cecil hears a knock at his studio door. He looks out and sees Ronnie standing there with a man with a pistachio-colored jumpsuit. So crazy.
I know.
Holding that Zero Time album under his arm.
That's even nuttier.
It was Stevie. And he walks in and sees this room-sized machine, sees, as in
Stevie sees, exactly.
Right. Called TONTO with his hands and doesn't even say hello. He just asks, how does it work? And what's wrong with this thing? It only plays 1 note at a time.
That's so too funny. And I'm going to go out on a limb here, Mello, and say right then and there, he said, let's live together.
He might as well have, Max. Cecil and Margouleff explained that they could layer those single notes to build a symphony.
Wow.
Stevie's eyes lit up, and he ended up virtually living in that studio for years, like 2 years. They worked from 7 p.m. till dawn, documenting every patch and knob setting in a massive library so they could recreate the magic.
Mad scientists. I love it. Being in the lab is the coolest thing in the world. But you need to remember, I mean, everybody needs to remember, before Stevie, synths were sci-fi movies or cold electronic music. But Stevie Wonder saw the future. And there was a future. You have to remember, nothing even close to this existed back then. It's not unusual today to have a keyboard trigger vocals or other sounds, but back then, that was completely unheard of and unlikely in most musicians' minds, so they never saw anything
Most
like
musicians,
that
right, but not Stevie.
No, not Stevie.
No, he used TONTO to mimic horns, strings, and bass, but he made them feel warm. He made them feel like soul.
Yeah.
And this is where the architect really shows up on tracks like Living for the City. Y'all know that one.
Yeah.
He's playing almost every instrument. He's playing almost every instrument environment himself.
Speaking of technical self-reliance, let's just talk about the Superstition saga for a second. You know, it actually started as a matchmaking move by those guys behind the curtain, Bob Margouleff and Malcolm Cecil. They were the gatekeepers of that synth, and they introduced Stevie to British guitar legend Jeff Beck at Electric Lady Studios.
Right, and they struck a legendary gentleman's agreement. The deal was simple. Beck would lend his guitar genius to Stevie's new album, Talking Book, and in exchange, Stevie would write a monster hit specifically for Beck's new power trio.
And you can actually hear the chemistry on the record. During the track for Looking for Another Pure Love, Stevie literally shouts, "Do it, Jeff," right before Beck takes this incredible jazz-influenced solo. But the real magic happened during a break. Beck sat down at the drum kit and started playing this greasy, syncopated beat. Stevie heard it, hopped on the clav, and improvised that iconic riff right on the spot, and told Jeff right then and there, "This is yours." Now, we all know that lick.
We all know that lick. But the architect...
That's some badass shit.
Right, but here's the catch. The architect had a boss named Barry Gordy.
Oh, yeah, he's a boss, is right.
Barry heard Stevie's demo of Superstition and knew that it was global smash.
Yeah, without a doubt.
He didn't care about the deal. He forced Stevie to drop it immediately. By the time Jeff Beck's version finally hit the shelf, Stevie was already #1 in the world.
And Jeff was understandably heated. I would have been too. But Stevie made it right. And the way he made it right was even more cooler, right? So a few years later, he gave Jeff Beck a song called "'Cause We've Ended as Lovers." And this song became Jeff Beck's masterpiece, a piece of Jeff's soul on a record called "Blow by Blow," which was a masterpiece. I grew up with that record. All guitar players grew up with that record. It just shows you that when you master the machine, you control the narrative. Stevie didn't wait for a producer to get his sound. With Bob and Cecil, he became the master of the laboratory, and he handed that gift off.
And it allowed him to be socially conscious, too. He wasn't just writing love songs. He was talking about the struggle in the streets because he had the total creative control to do it. Just as he reached his peak, this absolute mastery of the gear and the charts, everything almost came to a crashing halt.
That's right. We're going to talk about that moment that changed Stevie's life and his music forever, right after the break.
You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. We're going to take a short pause for the cause, and we'll be right back.
Yes, sir. Stay with us. Hey, welcome back. We're in 1973. Intervisions has just been released, and Stevie is the biggest star on the planet. And then tragedy strikes.
Yeah, this is an incredible story, Max.
Oh, it sure is, Mello.
Stevie's in the car with his cousin who's driving because, of course, Stevie can't drive.
Well, not according to Eddie Murphy, you said. So the two of them are in the car, and the cousin is driving.
Right. The cousin who's driving doesn't see that there's a log truck.
And unfortunately, he doesn't see it in time, and so he hits the truck, and a log comes through the window and hits Stevie. And, of course, it totals the car.
But
now,
Stevie's
luckily,
wearing headphones.
That's right. Stevie's in the front seat. In the passenger
Asleep,
side.
by the way.
Well, yeah, he's dozing, listening to Intervisions,
Right.
just so happens.
Which was the
And
biggest
eyes
record in the
closed,
world.
which didn't matter whether they were open or not, but he had the headphones on, and he's dozing, and that probably saved his life.
You know, you're probably right. And Stevie's in a coma for 4 days. He even loses his sense of smell. The music world literally thought it was over.
It's an unbelievable story. But here's the awakening moment. His friend, Ira Tucker, is by his bed. Now, Ira wasn't just his publicist and close friend. He was a powerhouse singer with the legendary gospel group, the Dixie Hummingbirds. And he knew that if anything could reach Stevie, it was the spirit of the music, Mello. He knew the power of the word.
So for 4 days, he is by that bed, Max. And on the 4th day, Ira leans right into Stevie's ear. He starts singing the lyrics to Higher Ground, the very song that was climbing the charts while Stevie was fighting for his life.
Can you imagine?
Wow. And he sang it loud and full of soul right into the coma.
Yeah, that's just unbelievable. So, what a miracle. Seeing that, Mello. So Stevie's fingers started moving on the hospital bed sheets like he's playing the keyboard. He's unconscious, but his nervous system was already back in the pocket. You know, he heard it. He heard it, and his fingers started moving.
As if he were playing it.
Exactly.
It's quite amazing, Max. He literally played his way back to consciousness. When he woke up, he felt like he had been spared. He said he'd been given a second chance to use his platform. That's why his music became even deeper, more spiritual, and more urgent.
That's right. And you hear it on Fulfilling Mrs. First Finale. I mean, he was an architect who had seen the other side. This also reinforced the massive respect he had among his peers. Even before the crash, the greatest architects in the world knew who Stevie was.
Like Jimi Hendrix, right?
Exactly. Back in 1967, a 17-year-old Stevie Wonder jumped on the drums for Jimi Hendrix during a BBC session to cover I Was Made to Love Her. Jimmy was so reportedly blown away by Stevie's pocket. You know, Mello, there's a bootleg of that session out there, and it's supposed to be incredible. I mean, in all my research for the show, I had no idea Jimmy played with Stevie.
Pretty incredible, Max. Whether it was jamming with Hendrix in the 60s or his miraculous recovery in the 70s, Stevie was truly operating on a higher frequency. He was untouchable.
He sure was, Mello. We've got more to talk about Stevie and his impact. And when we come back, we'll talk about the most legendary thank you in Grammy history, and I mean legendary, and the $13 million power play.
Yes, Max. Kind of like Michael Jordan didn't play this season and I Won a Ring scene.
Yeah, that's pretty funny.
Stick around and find out. You're listening to Max and Mello's Architects of Soul. We're going to take a short break. Stay with us.
That's right. Don't go anywhere. We're not done with this amazing story yet. Thanks for tuning into Architects of Soul. Our music is waiting for you. Hey, we're back. One more time. If you're digging what we're feeding you.
Yep, if you're picking up what we're putting down.
That's right. If you like this content, well then, please hit the subscribe button.
And remember, we have a video version of the podcast on our YouTube page, so if you feel like watching instead of just listening, you can.
That's right, Mel. So let's get back to Stevie in 1975. So Stevie has swept the Grammys for 3 years in a row. He's so dominant. I mean, he is so dominant. And Paul Simon, well, he wins the Album of the Year that year. And he famously says, I love this. He goes, I'd like to thank Stevie Wonder who didn't put out an album this year.
Yeah, I actually remember that. And that is the ultimate respect. Stevie used that leverage to sign a $13 million deal with Motown.
It was huge.
Oh, it was the biggest in history at that time.
Yeah, no one could get that.
Right. And man, did he put that money to work. He moved into the studio for 2.5 years to build what would become Songs in the Key of Life.
Which truly, truly was a pivotal record in everybody's life. I mean, he used that time to be the total perfectionist that he was. He recorded over 200 songs. Motown was panicking because he kept pushing the release date back to perfect the mixes. They actually printed T-shirts for the staff that said, "We're almost finished," just to poke fun at how long it was taking. It's too funny.
That's right, but Stevie was vibing away on this record, recording Isn't She Lovely in the Dark. Seems Stevie wanted to capture the purest emotion for the tribute to his daughter, Aisha.
That's right.
Yeah, the story is that he often recorded his vocals in total darkness to heighten his focus.
Well, when you think about it, he was always in total darkness.
Oh, well, yeah, he was.
But he wanted everybody else to feel what he was feeling.
And see what he saw.
Exactly. That didn't see. I think that's more likely, but he wanted them to feel what he felt.
Exactly. And for that track, he actually brought Aisha into the studio and even included the recording of her bathing, which you hear on the song at the end.
Oh, yeah. No, it's really great. Come on, baby, in the water, right?
Yeah.
And the lesson here, he just wasn't making a pop song. He was creating a sonic scrapbook of fatherhood. I think that's so cool, Mello, don't you?
Definitely cool, man. Steve was out of sight in so many ways.
Sure was. Not too uptight, but very out of sight.
He was the CEO of his own creativity. A clock? Oh, no. He didn't follow a clock. He followed the flow.
That's right. Or as Stevie or Stevie time, as I like to call it. Because if he felt a peak coming at 3 a.m., he expected his musicians to be there. Bassist Nate Watts and guitarist Michael Sembello often slept in the studio. Stevie would wake them up in the middle of the night saying, "I got it, let's go."
Right, Max. And the result, that raw late-night energy is what gives tracks like I Wish and Sir Duke that incredible punchy live feel.
Yeah, because the motherfuckers were pretty crabby for being woken up.
In the middle of the night.
Play that shit hard. And don't even get me started on the tech. He was one of the first to use the Yamaha GX1, which cost as much as a house back then. He used that Dream Machine to play all the strings himself on Village Ghetto Land. And wow, did that sound fucking incredible. He was building symphonies solo. And then he'd turn around and record Isn't She Lovely in Total Darkness just to stay in the emotional zone.
But check this out. The architect also knew when to bring in another master builder. For the song Another Star, he brought in the legendary George Benson.
Now, this is a story I really love. I absolutely love this. So George Benson is a virtuoso, right? And Stevie, well, he didn't even give him a chart or tell him what to do. So George shows up for the session, and he gets in his chair, and he looks at his charts, and it's empty. He's got a blank piece of paper in front of him. So he's like, well, where's my chart? And he says, no, I want you to be George Benson. You don't got a chart. You got to be George Benson. Like, you're not going to give me any chords or anything like that. No, be George Benson. That's who you are. It's like, so they ended up jamming on the outro of that track for like over 8 minutes. And if you listen to that fade out, it's just two absolute giants, Stevie on the keys and George on the guitar, pushing each other higher and higher. Pure, unadulterated soul fire. God, I love it. I love that record. I really love that record. Still to this moment.
And that ends the main body of what is Songs of the Key of Life, is that Another Star jam, basically.
Yes.
The two of them and Bobby Humphrey, you can't forget her on the flute.
Oh, my God, no, you can't.
You know, that
I got to
flute
work with her.
Too.
She was tremendous.
Yeah. Well, that's the lesson. A true architect isn't afraid of other greats.
No, not at all. In fact, he invites them in.
Yeah, to help finish the Skyscraper, and the mastery extended to everyone else's records, too.
Exactly. He was out playing the legends. When he recorded with Paul McCartney for What's That You're Doing, Stevie played almost every instrument, drums, synths, the works, essentially outplaying a Beatle in his own studio. And truthfully, Paul McCartney is a genius, a brilliant writer, but Stevie as a musician, forget about it. I'm sorry.
And he gave that same energy to Shaka Khan. He showed up and nailed the iconic harmonica riff on I Feel For You in just a few takes.
That was a scratch.
Yeah, that record scratch became the sound of the 80s.
Can you imagine? This guy was so great at just the feel of knowing what to do that he nails a demo. I mean,
and that became the hook of the song.
The hook of
and
the
that's
song.
after that's 10, 12 years after he'd written Shaka's first hit, Tell Me Something Good.
That's correct.
That's a whole other conversation.
It is a whole other conversation.
The songs he wrote for other people.
When we get to Shaka.
Yeah.
And we will get to Shaka. So that's the architect lesson. Don't let the business rush the art. If you want a masterpiece, you got to protect the process and know who to bring in the room.
And speaking of protecting the process, we're going to protect the process by taking a quick break.
That's right. And when we come back, we're going to put a bow on this puppy. Listening to Max and Mello's Architecture Soul, and we will be right back.
We're back for the home stretch. We looked at the prodigy and the giant. Stevie Wonder changed the game because he wasn't afraid to be an architect.
And Mello, to understand his scale, we have to look at the blueprint he drew for everyone else. We need to remind the people of the sheer volume of his impact as a composer and a player. This isn't just a few hits, it's a whole wing of the Hall of Fame. So buckle up and get ready, because this flight is going to be a wild one.
Yeah, let's run the numbers. As a writer, he wasn't just keeping the hits for himself. Under his own name and pseudonym Yvette's Red Now, which is Stevie Wonder backwards, he was fueling everyone. We're talking Tears of a Clown for Smokey Robinson, It's a Shame for the Spinners.
I love that song.
Until You Come Back For Me by Aretha Franklin.
Another great song. And he didn't stop there. No, he didn't. He wrote Tell Me Something Good for Rufus and Chaka Khan, which we talked about before, and the legendary I Can't Help It for Michael Jackson. And he was the pen behind Jermaine Jackson's Let's Get Serious and Quincy Jones's Bet You Wouldn't Hurt Me.
That's right. He was also the secret weapon for icons. For Minnie Riperton, he gave us Perfect Angel. For Sarita Wright, he was a whole catalog.
A whole catalog.
Your Kiss Is Sweet, Harmer Love, Cause We've Ended as Lovers.
And of course, that song ended up in Jeff Beck's hands.
Yeah,
and many other instrumentalists have used that song. It's a beautiful song.
Mm-hmm. He wrote hits for the Supremes like Bad Weather, Diana Ross, and those beautiful tracks for Roberta Flack and Donny Hathaway like You Are My Heaven.
A beautiful song.
He also wrote Don't Make Me Wait Too Long for Roberta on the same album. He was a one-man hit factory.
Yes, he was. He wrote for Martha Reeves and the Vandellas, Brenda Holloway, the Pointer Sisters,
Sleeping Alone.
Yeah, and even the Four Tops with Loving You Is Sweeter Than Ever. He was even giving tracks to Marvin Gaye and the Temptations. So if you were on Motown, Stevie was probably the architect of your sound too.
And we can't forget his instrumental DNA. He's the world's most famous harmonica player. But this man's a polymath, Max. Just look at these guest spots. That iconic intro on Chaka's I Feel For You, which
we talked about earlier, yeah.
But also Elton John's, I guess that's why they call it the blues.
Which is absolutely beautiful.
Great pop song that's soulful. And Eurythmics, There Must Be an Angel, another great pop song that's really soulful.
Yeah, he did an amazing job on both of those.
He also played the harmonica on Manhattan Transfer, Spice of Life.
Right.
The same time.
He's everywhere. He's on Sting's Brand New Day, Barbra Streisand, James Taylor, Rod Stewart, and Celine Dion, and he stays current. He's providing the soul for Travis Scott on Stop Trying to Be God. And let's just talk quickly about that, Mello, because many fans were shocked to see Stevie Wonder credited on Travis Scott's psychedelic masterpiece, Astroworld. And for that track, Stop Trying to Be God, Travis wanted a spiritual, harmonica-driven sound. Well, who would that be naturally but Stevie, who stays current with modern music and agreed to play? Well, he recorded a long, soaring harmonica solo that floats over the track. And I mean it floats over the track. Not sits in the track, but floats over it. And it proved that Stevie's sound is timeless. It can fit into an experimental hip-hop piece just as easily as a 70s soul piece. Okay, sorry for the last tidbit, but back to the list. He also played for Drake on Doing It Wrong, and even PJ Morton and Nas on Be Like Water.
Amazing, Max. Stevie is indeed a musical genius.
He truly is. He truly is.
And it wasn't just harmonica either. He was also on the keys and drums for everyone. He played drums for the Four Tops and the Spinners. He played piano for Dionne Warwick on 3 songs that he wrote for her.
Those are beautiful songs.
Yeah. And like we said, he basically outplayed Paul McCartney on the drums and keys for What's That You're Doing.
It's so true. That's the architect lesson right there. Genre blurring, or as we want to call it, cross-pollination, isn't just a trend. It's a lifestyle. He mixed funk, jazz, and reggae, and then lent his genius to rock, pop, and hip-hop. He gave us permission to not be boxed in. And for us, that is a beautiful thing.
He also showed us that the artist as CEO is the only way to survive, because he owned his masters and creative process, his music, and his contributions to others still sound fresh today.
Sound familiar, don't it?
That's right. It hasn't been watered down by some executive's formula.
Yeah, by somebody else telling him what to do and what to be with his own music. So as we and the rest of today's modern musicians move forward with our own music, we look at Stevie and see the importance of social consciousness and technical self-reliance. So he's the reason we do what we do, or in one of the reasons. He laid the bricks so we could all build our own houses. And as always, when we close, we want to close with our final thought and our hope that for all of us, our art, our craft, and our creations. And so,
keep that soul fire burning, protect your sound, nurture your creativity, own your voice, and remember the lessons from the giants who came before.
And yes, protect your masters and seek out wise mentors who can guide you on your journey. And until next we meet, peace and soul, y'all.